Wow, you came back for more. You're awesome. And if you're new, you're awesome too. This makes part 3 of the progress on the Monaco. If you haven't seen parts 1 and parts 2, I would do one of them little links, but I don't know how. So if you want to see them, just click on my channel and go watch them. If you don't know, I like putting together old Mopars on the cheap. And that makes no sense, but that's what I like doing. I'm crazy. So let's get into it. Sway bar bushings. I don't know if I've ever dealt with these before, but that bushing is captured. This thing is spot welded here and here, and they are really big spot welds. I don't know if you can see the size of that sucker, but it's big. And I have done this before by drilling this out, and it just makes a mess because you have to drill so much material out of there. If there's not much left, can't really see that one. This one here, oh yeah, you can see this one good. Look at the size of that spot weld. Focus. Focus. Anyway, you can see it. Other side. So what I'm doing on this one is I've actually cut the rubber off of this side. I'm gonna try to do this without drilling these. That would be nice if I could, but I think it's gonna be a struggle. We'll see. We'll end up drilling the spot welds. It's the only way to do it, I'm afraid. You can see how big a hole I had to drill to get that huge spot weld out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna weld these back up and fix them, and then I'm gonna re-drill them again because these aren't centered. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But I'll weld them completely back up, put it all back in place, and then re-drill them for like a 3/8 bolt, so we can just bolt these back together here and here with a couple 3/8 bolts. But it's what it is. That's a 9/16 hole, and it still isn't big enough to get all the weld, which they may not be exactly centered, but still 9/16, that's pretty big to still have. Oh, that one popped easy, look at that. The other side fought a little bit more than that. She's there. There it is. Those bushes probably would have been fine, but they'll be fine. I was able to just slide the old bushing up and just kind of twisted it and worked it up to this point here. And when I got to here, I just took a hammer and just hit it on each side and just worked it right off. I could have cut it off, but I was just interested to see how difficult it was going to be to put the new bushings on because they got to go back over that. I don't think it's going to be bad. Now let's just go sandblast all this stuff, and then I got to clean up the sway bar. I don't think it's going to fit in my sandblasting cabinet, so I'll probably just have to hit it with the wire wheel or something. We'll figure it out. Well, the sandblasting's done. Let's weld up these holes. Okay, got them all welded up, and I went through and ground the welds smooth on all of these, and now with one hand, here are these. Come on out of there. We'll get these in position, and we'll go through and drill nice holes. They're nice and centered and a decent size, so we can put some 3/8 bolts through them, and then we can just bolt them together. Probably should have worn hearing protection before I did like grinding because my ears are ringing. Let that be a lesson to you. Okay, after the abuse these went through from the drilling and welding, they didn't fit that good, so I had to go through and bend on them a little bit to get them to fit again. So we just have to drill them now. And I said I was going to use 3/8 bolts, but I think I'm going to use 5/16, and that is because 5/16 bolts are the only ones I have. But they'll be just fine. Whatever. if your drill chips are gold and blue like these are, then either you're drilling too fast or your drill bit is toasted. In my case, it's the latter. Well, I swapped out to a different bit, and we don't have rainbow colored shavings anymore. I realized why that bit burned up so easy, and we're drilling directly through nothing but weld. And weld is typically pretty hard. That bit was cutting great to start with. I wasn't abusing it, and it just went to crap real fast. So I swapped to a different one that's a tiny bit smaller, and then I'm just gonna go back and run the 5/16 bit through it again. Looks okay, but she ain't cutting too good. All right, there we go. Got them all bolted together. I went in and cut the bolts off so it wouldn't be so long. I need to clean up the ends a little bit. I haven't taken them apart yet. So all we gotta do now is paint them, and they'll be ready to go back on. You know the drill. Well, we got our sway bar painted and the sway bar links and mounts. So as soon as they dry, we can put them back on the car. I'm considering taking the steering linkage apart and painting it. It all seems to be in good condition. It just looks bad. I mean, come on. I can't put that ugly ass tie rod on this nice clean stuff. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. And we're back. Another day has passed. You know, I have a full-time job and a family, so it's not uncommon for me to only get, an hour a day down here if I'm lucky. So, anyway, our parts have dried. Oh yeah, it's been a day, obviously. It's gonna be good and dry. We just got to push our bushings on here for the sway bar links. And we put sway bar on. Well, here's what came in the kit for the sway bar links. All pretty obvious, but what the hell are these for? I have no idea. You tell me. The sway bar links have this convenient slot in them, so we don't have to worry about trying to push them over this, which I was kind of hoping they didn't. So this might even be a one-hander. Wow, look at that. Easy peasy. There's the other one. One-handed. Skill. All right. Let's put it on the car. We didn't do too good a job of painting. We'll have to touch that up. Put the bushings on there, and well, that's a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a nut on that, especially by the time I put the top washer back on. Well, that's gonna be an issue, isn't it? We may just have to cut a little off of these. It's just part of the fun. Aftermarket parts only fit the box they come in. We'll fix it with a Sawzall. Maybe it'll stay in there. Maybe not that much. We can always take more. Definitely shorter. Comparison. And make sure I cut down the right one. All right, that's it. There's two different ones. You have one bushing that fits this diameter and another one that fits the smaller diameter. So I'm making sure that I'm cutting the right one. This is the first one. I think we'll cut about the same off the second. You know what? I might not even need to cut the second one. I got room. All right, well, just loosely in there, then that's just barely started on by hand. Same thing over here. I cut the bushing like I did on the other side. I didn't do a very good job of cutting that one very squarely, so I just took it for a ride on the belt sander and squared her up. So let's take the bottom halves of these off and lay the sway bar in. Okay, I got the doohickey sway bar link in position, and I put the split in the bushing at the front as I got to thinking about the forces on the sway bars, either up or down. It's never back or forth. So I figured this could be a weak point, so it made sense to put it either the front or the rear. I chose the front for no particular reason, but this is all still loose, obviously. Let's do the end links. Okay, and the end links are installed. You kind of have to wrestle them a little bit because you're fighting against the sway bar. But I got it on there, and I realized that I got the bolts wrong. The long bolt should be up here going through the torsion bar, and the short bolt should be going through this part down here. I'm trying to decide if I care. The answer is no. I need one of those. There's one. Well, I was gonna steal that part, but it started raining. And my dogs are outside, so I guess we're gonna have to go rescue them, huh? Sorry, doggies. Let's go in the house. Come on, let's go. In the house, let's go. Come on. Are y'all wet? It'll be okay. The rain just came out of nowhere. It's that time of the year. I'm wet. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait on the idler arm, but I guess we could go ahead and put the torsion bars back in. That way we can actually set this thing on the ground. We can go ahead and hook up the steering with the jacked up idler arm. I want to clean this stuff up, but I'm just having trouble finding the motivation. Same goes for the torsion bars. I thought about taking them out, cleaning them, and painting them. I'm getting kind of burnt out on that. I should do it though, shouldn't I? I should. Yeah. Well, we'll do the torsion bars. That way we can get them back in and the car can actually sit on the ground. And we can temporarily hook up the tie rods if we need to move the car around. I need to just go ahead and take it apart and clean it and paint it, don't I? Yeah. You know, sometimes you find yourself feeling a little burnt out on working on the same stuff for long periods of time. And if you find yourself feeling that way, find something else on the car that you want to work on and work on that for a little bit, which is what I probably would do right now, but I really want to get this car where it's on the ground and I can at least roll it off the lift and, you know, maybe change the oil in my wife's van. So I'm just going to turn off my brain and trudge on forth, get this stuff cleaned up and painted, get the torsion bars back in. So that's a possibility because her van is over on the oil change, you know, a couple thousand miles. She's very understanding. I have an awesome wife. So we're going to get it taken care of. Steering linkage is out. Torsion bars are out. And if you didn't already know, on torsion bars, if you notice the part numbers, if we can focus, we got 620 and 621. The even number goes on the passenger side of the car, while the odd number goes on the driver's side of the car. Torsion bars are meant to only twist in one direction, so you don't want to swap them around and have them twist in the opposite direction because these things can break. It's rare. I've only seen it once. But there you go. And I'm hungry. It's time to eat. So this is my progress for one day. It's another day. I want to go down to the garage and play, but I got to mow grass. So let's do that. mowed grass till it got dark. Looks better than it did. Of course, I'm not done. It's a tomorrow problem, I guess. I got boots for the tie rod ends. So maybe we can put the steering back together. I started disassembling the master cylinder. There's that. It looks pretty decent inside. I think we can just clean it up, put it back together. The seals seem nice and soft. I mean, like I said, it was a good master cylinder. I'm just, doing more than I need to. Here we go. Well, the steering's back in. It sure does look a lot better, don't it? Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. Got all the nuts on, put all the Carter pins in. If you notice on these castle nuts, how they have 1, 2, 3 doohickeys. Those are factory. This is the one that come off of the other idler arm focus. Notice how it has 6. I don't know, it's just a geek thing. I like having the original hardware so that everything has the 3 castle nut, even the ball joints, which all that stuff's original. No, these aren't like that. I don't know why. I don't know, it's cool. I need to put Carter pins and all that stuff, don't I? I put it all in the steering. Let's get the ball joints and those bolts. And maybe we can shove in some torsion bars. Well, another day has passed, and I'm still mowing grass, and I'm still not done. But it's dark, so I come down here to the garage to mess around a little bit, and stuck the torsion bars back in. Put the clip in. They just slide through from here. You just stick them all the way through the hole and into the control arm. I need to clean the grease up. I made a mess there. And you might have to encourage them with the hammer a little bit. It's not too complicated. Now, we need to tighten the adjuster bolts. And if you remember or know, I wrote down a measurement on the bumper. 1 1/4 inches on this side. And where are you at? 1 inch on that side. And that's a measurement that'll be taken from the head of the bolt to the adjuster. And that'll get us real close. Probably not perfect, but close enough where we can get it on the ground and fine tune that in the future. I'm not really gonna worry about it now, but let's do that. We'll do that with the right tool. Probably not the right tool, but it's what I'm using. Well, the battery on my Harbor Freight Impact died, but in its defense, I haven't charged it in a long time. I think it's been really good. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way with old Trusty here. And a lot of people may have a problem with me doing torsion bars with an impact, but I've done it this way many, many times. And if you don't like it, adjust yours with a wrench. Oh, wrong way. Getting close, we're gonna need to measure. I did put WD-40 on them too, by the way. Seems to be helping. Tape measure. All right, our measurement on this side was 1 inch. Oh, well. We may have went just a little far on that one. This side is 1 1/4, and it is at 1 inch. Don't know if you can see that. And I don't remember, did I measure from the bottom of the bolt or from the shoulder? I'm gonna have to go back and look at the video. Well, I couldn't find the video, so I just aired on the low side, which looks right. Because it seems like I remember that the head of that bolt sticking out like that. Anyway, we can always turn them up some, and I just measured to the top of the shoulder, so the head of the bolt here. So if anything, she's just set a little low. No big deal, it's easy to adjust. Well, I think we've reached a milestone. The front suspension is completely reassembled. I mean, obviously we got to do some brake plumbing, but as far as steering and suspension, it's all together. I put all my Carter pins in everywhere. So, we get to move on to something else, which I think I'm gonna keep working on the getting the master cylinder on and plumbing brakes. As we're redoing all of it, it's getting all new lines all the way to the rear. And then I guess our last big project is gonna be the rear end. And of course you haven't seen this yet. I've got the trunk floor cut out of it. That's gonna be a video on its own. Repairing the trunk pan and putting the fuel tank in. We are making progress. Of course, I have more floor pan repairs to make up here. You know, if you don't like rust, you probably shouldn't play with old cars, not unless you live out west. Around here, they've got rust, so you just gotta deal with it, learn how to fix it. Because the rust-free ones, they're either gone or they're way too expensive. Well, I've got this little Amazon cylinder home set. We're going to blast through the bore on this master cylinder and clean it up just a little bit. She's got a little bit of light rust in there. Anything bad. Don't know what you can see. But we're just gonna give it a quick and easy buff. And we're just gonna put it back together. I got pistons out of it. Of course, I'm gonna clean them up. The seals all seem nice and soft. I mean, I guess I could replace them, but that wouldn't be any fun, would it? I guess we'll just use a little WD-40 as some lube in here. Gonna be honest, I've never done this before. I mean, worst case, you know, we buy a master cylinder. In there deep enough. I'll check this up a little bit further out. There's not much left. I'm just barely getting the end of it. It'll either work or it won't. Oh, there's the bottom. I found the bottom. Am I doing a good job? I don't really know. I found plenty of cylinders on engines before, but I've never done this. Let's hit it with some brake clean and have a look. Well, after some honing, you can see some discoloration, like there's some pitting, but you can't feel it. Don't know how well you can see what I see. Yeah, but right back in there, you see that it looks like a pit? You can't feel it though. So we're just gonna put it together. Worst case scenario is it leaks or bypasses, and we'll just buy a master cylinder. Okay, just hose this stuff off with a brake clean. The seals feel really good. They're soft, they're not torn. So we're just gonna throw a little brake fluid in the hole here. Give it one of them deals. Give it a little brake fluid on the seals. Be interesting to get that lip seal in there without messing it up. Might need some sort of tool. Hey. TIG wire to the rescue again. If you don't have a TIG welder, buy TIG wire anyway, because its uses are infinite. That nice rounded edge, it's not going to damage the seal. We can just tuck it. There's a groove where the snap ring goes in. I'm trying to get past without making the seal goofy, flipping the seal backwards. Maybe. Hey, there it went. Just wasn't holding my mouth right. That's just an O-ring, so it's not going to be a problem. And this seal, the umbrella comes this way, so it should just go right in. Oh yeah. That one's in. Let's do that again with this one. Got the same situation with this, with the lip seal that faces inward. A little brake fluid on there. A good measure. Brake fluid burns in the cut. Sure does. Special tool. Oh, look at that. That was just a little twist. You know, that might have worked on the first one. No, the first one was like floating, so turning the piston, the seal wouldn't turn because it was on like its own little deal. We're against the springs now. Snap ring time. Snap ring pliers, and these are the rolling snap ring pliers. We need the squeezy ones, not the stretchy ones. Maybe we can just work it in there. Let's tighten my vise a little bit here. Need more hands. Give me a hand instead of just sitting there. Reach through the screen. Hold the screwdriver for me while I get the snap ring in. Well, I guess I get to watch me struggle. Maybe I won't edit this out so that it'll look like I know what I'm doing. Let's be real. Get your home. Ooh. Wow, looky there. Maybe I do know what I'm doing. Probably not. Hey, but that's in there now, isn't it? I think I have a bench bleeder kit somewhere. We'll see if this thing will bleed. If I can find it. Well, I can't find my brake bleeder kit. Pretty sure I have one at work in my toolbox there, so I'll just pick that up next time I'm there, which will be Monday. Today's Friday. So anyway, we'll just cover that up for now. I feel pretty good about it. I think it's going to work out all right. So we'll pick up on that project then. Well, a week has passed because life, and we're finally back here doing a little bit on the old Monaco. Painted the master cylinder and put it on. I don't know if you can see it way up there. So got it bolted on there. I pulled the front brake lines off of it, and we'll use these to make as a pattern for the new brake lines. Also want to move this so that our brake line will actually fit. I'm gonna bring it like, over here like this or something. Because over here it's just kind of short like that. So we'll just relocate it, fix that problem, and that's where we're at. I also painted the proportion valve, so it's now freshly remanufactured, I guess. I've done several of these disc brake conversions and not even used the proportion valve, and they work fine. But I happen to have one, so we're gonna use it. I also have to deal with that mess. It's tragedy. Like it never happened. Gotta have drywall screws. Well, we need to make some sort of bracket to hold our proportion valve somewhere in this area. So we'll do that and get it mounted solid, and then we'll build new lines to it. I thought about reusing these and just putting it way down there. I just can't bring myself to it. They're so ugly, and the rest of the car is gonna have new brake lines on it. So it sucks to have the two ugly lines up here where you can see them and all the new lines where you can't. So I'm gonna make new ones. Let's build a bracket. Well, I was thinking about using this piece of angle iron as our proportioning valve bracket. I figure I'd drill a couple of holes in it, put it over those studs, and maybe if I cut enough off of it, it won't look like a piece of angle iron, because we don't want that. Well, our old master cylinder has the perfect bolt pattern, so we can use that to transfer the holes to the angle iron. Just realized my drill is up at the house, so let's go do that. Well, that's a start. Still looks like a piece of angle iron though. Well, I think I have a plan. I put some lines and some cut marks on here, and it looks like scribble, but I think I know what it means. As soon as the compressor builds up, we'll take the pliers to it and cut her out. It's gas. Let's put that somewhere else. What else can catch on fire? 3 cans of brake clean. It's all right. Guess I should put air on it. Works better with air. Straightest cut ever made. She's gonna need a little grinder work. It's hot. Kind of looks like ass. I think with a little work with the grinder, it might look like, whatever. Well, a lot of guesswork went into that first bracket, and it didn't fit. So I cut it apart, added some pieces to it, welded it all back together, painted it black. This is what we've got. I think it's gonna work. It fits the car. Well, we gotta wait for the paint to dry now, and it is like 9 o'clock. And I guess I'm done. So, there you go. That's what I got done in one day. Well, I was planning on having the brake system at least plumbed by the end of this video, but I've been busy, haven't been able to put in many hours down here, very few actually. So that's just, that's life. But I wanted to upload videos on a somewhat regular basis, and I think it's been 12 days since I uploaded the last video. So we're just gonna call it right here. And come back for more, you know. Doing what I can. That's all I can do. So appreciate y'all watching, and see you on the next one. Like, subscribe. I would appreciate it. Leave a comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. Y'all have a good one.